Hey, this is Blue UK Jazz Dance. It is the 5th of the 1st, 2014. I said this year is about Blue reclaiming and celebrating his legacy unsung in the definitive book on UK Club Jazz Dance. And one of the things I want to do is give people an insight into what it is to be a pioneer, to be one of the original dancers who birthed this art form in a movement. Now this movement was a new jazz age in Britain. That's what black youth brought. It was important. It was part of a new black renaissance in England. It was part of a black is beautiful movement that had started in the 60s and was carried, continued to the 70s, 80s, 90s, even to now. Words of black renaissance are on my lips because I knew I was part of that movement, and part of my work was to reflect this. Part of my work was to reflect black is beautiful. Now getting to the point at hand, I'm doing this talk about being 90% self-trained because I'm tired. I'm tired people attributing my abilities to dance in mainstream dance and in my own street dances because of my training in mainstream, which has been 10%. I developed on my own, developing my dance myself by reading books, going to the theatre, going to classes every now and again. This is important for people to understand. People don't believe that street dancers have the ability, the aptitude, the capability to learn for themselves. They do. They have the problem-solving skills, the decision-making skills. I didn't have the money to go to mainstream classes regularly. So I decided to go to the library. I chose books. I went to classes. I went to see dance. I watched a lot of dance, contemporary dance, particularly in the 80s. A lot of that was on television. A lot of ballet was on television. Musicals. I collect musical videos and I collect musical on DVDs, as well as ballet and opera. I had knowledge, and that knowledge first came out of my parents giving me an aptitude and capabilities to dance first of all, and my community. Unknown knowledge is, what is my culture? African. In my DNA is already a memory of me dancing. Now what's important is, black people are not natural dancers. It's very important. People work hard at learning to dance. We have a better chance to learn to dance because the culture respects and values dancing as a valuable part of our social learning, as a valuable part of our lifelong learning. I was not a natural dancer, and I'm tired of individuals saying that to me. I was a child who was born with undiagnosed dyslexia. I was extremely clumsy. That's the first thing people need to know. Most of my childhood, up to about 10, I was a very, very clumsy child. Uncoordinated and coordinated. So when people say to me, you're a natural dancer, I'm 90% self-trained. I had to work hard. I had to use my blood, sweat and tears. I transferred skills. I transferred knowledge, understanding, awareness and skills from sports. I worked hard at sports and that helped the dance. I worked hard at dance and dance helped the sports. Both of these, if people have any knowledge, help cognition. They influence, they improve your brain capacity to learn, to train, and develop in a wide range of developmental ways. Has everybody got that? I was involved in martial arts. Martial arts gave me a better understanding to be involved in dance, particularly UK club jazz dancing, which is a social dance first. Part of that dancing, part of the rituals is competition. So if you're in martial arts and you're in sports, you get an understanding of the type of positive mental attitude, the type of requirement, type of blood, sweat and tears you need to put in to be a competitor. I attribute a lot of my knowledge of understanding of how to develop my own style, my own steps, my own learning and thinking development to sports excellence opportunities I got. I was in Cell Harriers from 11 years old to 16. I got some of the best training in the country to do with athletics. I was involved in cricket, Flixton men, Flixton boys, St. John's, which is an African Caribbean cricket organization. I played basketball for Moss Side basketball team. Now you're getting me? Being involved in them sports, remember you're involved with a group of individuals. So you learn. So what happened with them groups, peer learning, peer mentoring went on. Individuals taught you, this is how I learn a skill. This is how I drop the ball on my chest. People talked about thinking. My roles in football were number 7, number 8. These are creative roles, midfield roles. You have to know how to think. How do you play with defense? How do you play with the forward players? So people need to understand I was involved in a wide range of sports, more than most people were, at very high level of competition. That knowledge and experience enabled me to build my dancing. Because in football, you have to do circuits. You have to train. There's conditioning for the player. So that was the same. I just developed my own training for the club. I realized there's a different type of training for the club and a different type of training for the stage. It's important. UK club jazz dancing is a social scene. You have to train yourself for that social scene. It's about socializing and it's about dancing. It's about competing, but within a social learning setting. Is important. When you're on the stage, it's about the stage. That's a whole different thing. It's not necessarily about the socializing. It's about you going to the stage. You have set moves. You create them moves on the stage. You bring it to life on the stage. And you leave the stage. Then you go somewhere else. That's a whole different thing. So what I'm giving people today, I'm 90% self-trained. And it's important for people to know that in 2014. That is ballet. That is tap. Do you understand? That is contemporary. A genre of contemporary styles. I self-trained myself by reading books. Where I was in 1983 to 86 was Manchester Youth Dance Theatre, which was based in Manchester Youth Dance Centre. That was a major place for all teacher training in my area of Manchester. And all teachers came there. It had an amazing library. Now, Manchester Youth Dance Centre was based in a college called Sheena Simon. That had an amazing library also. So I could research myself, which I did. I read everything in Manchester Youth Dance Centre's library. I read everything. Watched every video that you could watch. Then I went into Sheena Simon College's library and got out every book you could have to do with dance, read that, to do with the art, sculpture, arts movements, to do with music, everything around dance. I was reading it. Anatomy, physiology. One of the key books I found that enabled me to train myself was a dance injury book called Injury Prevention, because it gave me an insight that my body had to be trained in a certain way to engage in Western dancing. The muscle groups need to be changed, and I was trained like a sportsman. So what was happening when I was in Manchester Youth, I was always getting knee injuries, and the reason was I was built like a sportsman. The muscles around my thigh area were built like sports. They weren't built for contemporary dance. So I had to start building the muscles for contemporary and ballet. I'm a self-trained dancer, and I'm proud of that. And I want people to know that fact, and that's one of the things I'm bringing about my legacy, is I'm a 90% self-trained dancer, be that mainstream, be that UK club jazz dancing, be that African dancing. I spent a lot of time training myself. I attribute 10% to going to classes, learning from others, etc., etc. Everybody got that? And what I'm trying to do with individuals who are self-trained dancers, be proud of your art, and don't let individuals give a claim for your self-development, for your self-learning. Don't let people give it a claim to mainstream dancing, because that's what was done to me. I learned to pirouette long time before I went to a dance school. I saw it on TV, tried it, yes I could do it. When I went to ballet classes, which was every now and again, once a week, for what, 2 hours, I started to learn the technique. Oh, these are the muscle groups, boom boom. I learned to pirouette myself using 90% of my self-training. I'm very proud of that fact, and became a very, very technical dancer. I'm renowned as a technical dancer. I'm renowned as a technician in contemporary and ballet, because I spent a lot of time working on that. And where did that drive come from? Because I was a technician in sports. I'm a very, very technical cricket player, a very technical football player, very technical table tennis player, very technical basketball player in my time, very technical athlete. That's what stands out. I'm using technique to create my excellence. Greetings from Blue, over and out. Take it easy. The future of my foundation, UK Club Jazz Dancers, to talk about, I'm a 90% trained dancer who believe, yes, I can learn, train and develop myself.